Hello everyone and welcome to the Practical English Brain. In today's video, I'll be teaching you how to write a descriptive paragraph. I'll definitely need your patience because the explanation could be somehow longer, but I'm going to try my best to make it as shorter as possible. So let's begin with the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is very kind and merciful. So I'm going to start here with the descriptive paragraph could be further divided into two types. In one type of descriptive paragraph, you may describe the physical appearance of a person, place, or thing. Okay? Like how a person, place, or thing looks. In the other type of descriptive paragraph, you may describe the qualities or the characteristics of a person. Okay, which characteristics somebody has, or which quality, someone, or for example, let's say you write your descriptive paragraph about an organization. So what kind of qualities that organization has, okay? So today we'll be working on this type of paragraph. We will be describing the characteristics or qualities of a person. Okay, so keep in mind to follow the cohesion and coherence. I've already explained what they are. Okay, so cohesion focusing more on grammatical order, and coherence focusing more on logical order. And then in this type of paragraph, again, the three important parts of a paragraph are the topic sentence, supporting sentences, and conclusion. But I think I've mentioned this before, that for each type of paragraph, we have different types of main idea and different types of supporting sentences and different type of order in the body of the paragraph and different type of conclusion. So for this type of descriptive paragraph, in the topic sentence, where you have your main idea, where you state your main idea, mentioning the characteristics, qualities, strengths, or weaknesses is really up to you, how you want to develop your paragraph. If you want to, for example, talk about 3 or 4 characteristics of a doctor, an engineer, a teacher, okay, a pilot. So you mention those 3 characteristics. You don't name them in the main idea, okay? In the main idea, you state good doctors have 3 qualities. Good, for example, institutes or universities have 3 qualities. Good teachers have 3 characteristics. That's what you mention in your main idea, in your topic sentence. That's all, okay? And as soon as the readers read your topic sentence, they know that the rest of the paragraph will be discussing these 3 characteristics or qualities, okay? So that's all. That's what you do over here. Again, you are not restricted to this specific type of paragraph that I'll be writing for you, okay? So you may talk about the 3 characteristics of different people, like, good parents, good students. So now it depends. You may develop your paragraph in a positive way, you may develop it in a negative way. For example, you want to discuss the weaknesses of somebody, okay? For example, you say, lazy students have 3 weaknesses, okay? So, the main idea is negative, and of course, everything in the paragraph should be negative, right? But then you say intelligent students have 3 characteristics, okay? That's all. That's what you mention in the main idea. You do not mention, what those characteristics are in the topic sentence, okay? And then you move to the body of your paragraph, okay? And supporting sentences over here. So, what kind of order you will be using in this specific type of paragraph? The order that you will be using is called listing order. What kind of order? Listing order. And you need specific transitional words and phrases, okay? First of all. Second. Next. Third. After that. Okay, finally, in short, so when you conclude, the paragraph, in short, all at all, to sum up, to conclude, as a conclusion, so these transitional words should be used, okay, when you conclude your paragraph. So now, those three characteristics are your major points. They are what? Major points. In the body of your paragraph, you mention these major points. And before each major point, you use a transition. What kind of transition? Transitions for listing order. Like first of all, second, third, okay, and so on, okay? And after each transition, you mention the major point. What's the major point? You have said, good doctors have three characteristics. So you mention the first characteristic after the first transitional word, first of all, and you say, okay, they are honest. For example, so honesty is one of the three characteristics, right? So, and after that, you bring some examples in details. Now here, minor points. What are minor points? There are major points and there are minor points. So the major points are those three characteristics that you mention in the body of a paragraph, that you discuss in the body of a paragraph. And the examples and details that you bring are minor points. So the major points in the body of a paragraph are there to support the main idea in the topic sentence. And the details and examples are there in the body of a paragraph in order to support the major points. Understood? So everything is kind of connected, okay? And that's why we define paragraph as it is a group of related sentences which talks about the same main idea. It's a group of related sentences which talks about the same main idea. So that's all. And here we come to conclusion. In the conclusion, okay, you summarize the three characteristics. So you mention the three characteristics again in different words. Understood? So now, in the body, you were discussing those three characteristics in details. In the last sentence, which is your conclusion, you summarize those three characteristics. Understood? You got it? So in the topic sentence, you don't mention them. But in the conclusion, you mention those three characteristics within one sentence. You got it? Without any details or any examples. Understood? So that's all about, these three important points of a paragraph. Now, which strategy we need to use for this kind of paragraph? I have used the paragraph which is written by the author of this book, Longman Academic Series. Here we go. We use this book. Okay, it's a very useful book for academic writing. Okay, so now first we use free writing strategy. It's called free writing. So in the previous lesson, while you were writing introduction paragraph, we were using the pre-writing strategy. Okay, so you have interview, and then you just take notes, and then you collect the information. You write a paragraph, introduction paragraph. But here, it's called free writing. Okay, so here in the middle, you write good flight attendants, for example. Okay, this is our topic for this paragraph. So it could be good doctors, it could be good teachers, it could be good businessmen, it could be good parents, it could be good, students, anything. Okay. For example, good hospitals, good universities, good English centers, whatever. You can talk about the qualities of an organization, or you can talk about the characteristics of people, okay? So now, the author, the writer of this paragraph, is thinking about different ideas related to this topic, flight attendant, right? Good flight attendants. And now, he or she writes all of these, ideas around this topic on a piece of paper, okay? So, like to travel, okay? They like to travel, okay? And then they're friendly, okay? So another idea. So if they're friendly, they can explain noises, okay? So now, grammar, I mean, the author, the writer does not focus on grammar or, punctuation or anything, okay? Just they're trying to collect the ideas, right? So, and they can calm nervous passengers if they're friendly, okay? And foreign languages, of course, I mean, good flight attendants know foreign languages, so they can communicate with people easily, and they're self-confident, okay? They have self-confidence. And then if they have self-confidence, they can get passengers to sit down if there's kind of emergencies. If there are emergencies, so they have the self-confidence and they do not get nervous, and they convince the passengers to calm down and, okay, not to make noises. And a lot of traveling, I mean, they travel a lot, okay? Of course, every day, or each other, they are a few times a week, okay? And physically strong, they are physically strong, okay? Why? Because heavy carts and heavy doors of the airplane pushing them, right? So they should be physically strong. And now the author decides to cross some of these ideas, okay? So now, for example, at first they were like friendly and like to travel and physically strong and a lot of traveling and self-confident, and then foreign languages, right? So now when the writer was thinking about collecting ideas, she was able, I mean, that's a female writer, I mean here, according to the book, she was able to find more details and examples in order to support these major points. Because these characteristics of good flight attendants are your major points. So if you know that you can bring more related ideas, you can bring more minor points, examples and details in order to support your major points, so you leave them. And if like to travel, I mean, it could be crossed. Okay? So now, foreign languages, again, okay? Because there weren't any other details or any other examples or any other minor points in order to support, I mean. So now she decides to leave only three major points. Number one, friendly. Number two, physically strong, because there are more, details, okay? And a lot of traveling, again. I mean, this idea doesn't seem to support the main idea properly, so, get rid of that. And self-confidence. So only these 1, 2, 3 characteristics will be discussed in the body of the paragraph. Understood? So I hope you got it. I hope you got everything. Okay, so what do we call this kind of paragraph? Descriptive paragraph. But we do not describe the physical appearance of a place, person, or thing. What do we describe? We describe characteristics or qualities, okay, of a person, place, or thing, right? So now, after following these points, for example, you want to write your descriptive paragraph about good doctors, so write the topic, good doctors, in the middle of your paper, and then think about the related ideas, okay? So you may collect 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15 ideas, right? And then you may think about those ideas. If you can bring more details about those ideas, you may only leave 3 or 4 of them, and you may cross the rest of them, okay? And after that, you collect these ideas properly in a paragraph, okay? So which order do you use? You use listing order. Which kind of transitions? First of all, next, third, second, okay? And the main idea in your topic sentence you just mentioned, I mean, good doctors have 3 characteristics. Good engineers have 3 qualities. Good teachers have 3 characteristics, or whatever, okay? And after that, you develop your paragraph, and in the conclusion, you just summarize those major points, those 3 or 4 characteristics, okay? In one sentence, you just mention all of them. Now we will see how we can do this in a paragraph. I'm going to show you, I'm going to write the paragraph over here, okay? And I'll explain all of these points there in the paragraph practically. So you can see all of these points are implemented in the paragraph. All of these points are implemented in the paragraph. There's cohesion, there's coherence, okay? There's listing order, there's main idea, there's conclusion, and everything. So yeah, now I'm gonna issue these papers. So now your job is, you can take 2 papers, okay? So one paper just for collecting the ideas for free writing, So right in the middle of your sentence, decide which topic you want to develop, okay? Good teachers, good doctors, good engineers, good, okay? Parents, good leaders, okay? And then collect a lot of ideas, and then think about those ideas, maybe 5, 6, 7 ideas. Then think about the details and examples with which you can support those major points, those characteristics, okay? And you may cross some of them, and you may only leave 3 or 4 of them, okay? So let's begin. A, showing these papers, and after that, we're gonna, inshallah, see, how it works, okay? So please. So here we are. The points which were explained earlier should be all implemented over here in this paragraph. Let me read the paragraph first. Good flight attendants have 3 important characteristics. First of all, they are very friendly. They enjoy greeting passengers and making them feel comfortable. Sometimes passengers are quite afraid of traveling. Friendly flight attendants are good at talking to them and helping them feel calm. For example, they can explain strange noises made by the aircraft. Second, good flight attendants are self-confident. They can give clear instructions to passengers. Third, good flight attendants are fairly strong. They have to push heavy carts of food and drinks up and down. They also have to open the airplane's extremely heavy doors. In short, good flight attendants are friendly, self-confident, and strong. Now look at the explanation once again. So we have the topic sentence, which contains the main idea. Good flight attendants have 3 important characteristics. This is the main idea. Now, if somebody reads this paragraph, they know that the rest of the paragraph will be discussing the 3 important characteristics of good flight attendants, okay? These 3 major points will be discussed in the body of the paragraph, right? So it says, first of all, look, the listing order, the transitional phrase, first of all, is used over here, and it is followed by a comma, okay? They are very friendly. So now the main idea says that they have 3 important characteristics, and the first characteristic is being friendly, okay? So now this is the major point. Whatever comes after this major point will be minor point, okay? The examples and details will be minor points. And those minor points must be supporting the major point. If they are friendly, what do they do, okay? They enjoy greeting passengers and making them feel comfortable. So now this details over here in this sentence is a minor point, okay? If somebody is not friendly, do they enjoy greeting, passengers and making? They don't, right? So they're friendly. Now, whatever the idea over here in this sentence supports the major point that they're friendly, the first major point. And the second sentence says, sometimes passengers are quite afraid of traveling. Friendly flight attendants are good at talking to them and helping them feel calm. Again, the details over here in these 2 sentences are here as minor points in order to support the major point that they're friendly. Okay? So after that, you see that, for example, they can explain strange noises made by the aircraft. So this example is also a minor point. I've told you before, okay? There are three major points in the body of this paragraph. And whatever comes after each major point will be minor point, the examples and the details, okay? And these minor points are here to support the major points, okay? And the major points are here to support the main idea, because the main idea says that they have three important characteristics, okay? So we mentioned these three characteristics and we explained them in the body of the paragraph. So this example, they can explain strange noises made by the aircraft. Okay, second. Now, as soon as you see this transitional word, and of course it should be followed by comma according to cohesion, okay? You should know that the second major point is going to be mentioned. So we already talked about the first major characteristic, okay? And now after this transitional word, okay, we talk about the second major point. Second, good flight attendants are self-confident. So this is the second major point. This is the second characteristic, okay? Now, if they are self-confident, we need some details and examples in order to explain how they are, self-confident, right? They can give clear instructions to passengers. If someone doesn't have self-confidence, they cannot give clear instructions, right? So they are confident. They know what's going on in the airplane, right? So if there is something, for example, if something goes wrong, or if there's kind of, noise, or if there's, for example, the airplane is shaking, okay? So they have the ability to give clear instructions, okay, what the passengers should do. So again, it's kind of details and it's a minor point, and it supports, the major point, they're self-confident. If they're not self-confident, they cannot do that, okay? So now, they can give clear instructions to passengers, okay. Good flight attendants are self-confident. They can give clear instructions to passengers. So that's all, enough. And third, okay, so as soon as you see this transitional word, because we have a listing order. What kind of order? Listing order. We list these major points. We list these characteristics, okay, after each other, first, second, and third, okay? So now your paragraph could be longer. After third, you may say next. If you want to bring one more characteristic, you may be explaining 5 or 6 characteristics of a person, okay? So then you may say after that, next, okay, finally, even that one. So third, good flight attendants are fairly strong. They are strong. So this is the third characteristic. This is the third major point or characteristic, mentioned in the main idea. And here it comes after the transitional signal word over here. Okay, third. Now let's see what the details say. The details are minor points. They should be supporting this idea that they are, fairly strong. So they have to push heavy carts of food and drinks up and down the aisles. If someone is not strong, can they push those heavy carts of drinks and food? They can't, right? Okay. So now, whatever the idea comes in this sentence is here to support that major point, okay? The major point. They are fairly strong. And what else? They also have to open the airplane's extremely heavy doors. Again, the idea over here, the details over here, is supporting, the major point that they are fairly strong, okay? So everything is connected, everything is related over here. So this is called what? Coherence. This is called coherence. Do you notice any irrelevant sentence? No. You don't, right? Okay. Okay, now, if there's something, for example, some pilots get angry with their flight attendants. Some pilots get angry with their flight attendants in the middle of the paragraph. If you see that kind of sentence, that will be irrelevant because it has nothing to do with with supporting the main idea, right? Okay. In short, this is how you conclude, your paragraph. I told you that the three major points, the three characteristics which are discussed in the body of the paragraph should be stated, should be mentioned again. But in a summarized way, in a short way, okay? So there are details and examples with each major point, but here in the last sentence, they are just mentioned, okay? They are just restated. You see that? In short, you can say, all at all, you can say, to sum up, you can say, I mean, you can use different transitional signals over here. To conclude, as a conclusion, okay? Or in short, good flight attendants are friendly, self-confident, and strong. So this is the conclusion of your paragraph, okay? What has been mentioned in the conclusion? Those major points, those three characteristics, okay? But with no details. There's no detail over here, right? Okay, so this is how you conclude this kind of paragraph. And if we have a look at the cohesion, everything is fine. I mean, there's a capitalization, there's punctuation. At the end of each sentence, you see a full stop, or if there's a question, there's a question mark, right? Commas are used after each transitional word, you know, comma, comma, okay? Capitalization, punctuation, and everything is okay, great. Okay, so now after we're done with the recording, your job is to write a paragraph about good doctors, good engineers, good teachers, good businessmen, good leaders, good parents, good students. Okay, just think about different ideas. Follow all of these points and try to write a descriptive paragraph within, let's say, 10 minutes. Okay. But in the future, we should decrease this time to even 5 minutes, okay? So within 10 minutes, each of you should be able to write this kind of paragraph. You got the point? Okay? Okay, so we're done here. Have a great time, everybody. Bye-bye.